We're going to cut you off. We're not going to support you. Black people, we make up the media. When LeBron James speaks, people listen. When Barack Obama speaks, people listen. We dominate the media, music, sports. Just that's pretty much America right there. And even in the political ring, we got that. So if we decide not to move a certain way, that's going to affect people's money. That's simple. All right, so for this next video that we're going to enjoy, this is a conversation between Brianna, I think her name is Brianna, and Mark Lamont Hill. Now they're having a conversation regarding the Kanye West situation, and bigger than just his situation, it's when Kanye West just went off the front end and just started saying crazy anti-Semitic stuff. Okay, we understand that. We understand that being anti-Semitic is bad. Okay, do not fall for the tricks and decide to feel that what you're saying is a good thing. Okay, but the deeper conversation that a lot of people were having was why, when Kanye West was saying anti-black stuff, slavery was a choice, rocking the Confederate flag, or he had a Confederate hat, something like that. Slavery was a choice. The George Floyd, he really didn't die with the knee on his neck. He really overdosed, and which was completely debunked so many times over. No one, or very little repercussions happen. If Kanye West would have just said the anti-black stuff and drop an album tomorrow, it'd probably go platinum, because nobody is like, oh, slavery was a choice. Okay, whatever. But when he was saying the anti-Semitic stuff and calling Adidas out to their face, then that's when everything happened. He lost his money, got debanked, lost his deals. I mean, he's still rich, but everything started to go downhill. Now the conversation is revolving around that. Let's go ahead and take a listen to see what these two have to say.
Slavery is a choice, anti-black comments. As much as it is, I think for potentially good reasons, people of all kind of faiths and racial backgrounds feel like what he did, that his anti-Semitic comments are actually substantively worse than the anti-black comments for any number of reasons. Maybe it's because fundamentally we believe Holocaust denial is worse than slavery denial. Maybe it's because Jewish people have done a better job as a community at putting a stigma on Holocaust denial as opposed to slavery denial. Maybe that is in part because Holocaust denial is more of a concerted, long-term, historically rooted trope than like slavery denial as a thing, although obviously slavery has been minimized enormously in the teaching in American schools, et cetera. Yeah. But for whatever the reason, it does feel to me like it's less that people are kind of organically, they're like, black people don't care enough about black issues or something like that. It feels like it's something more substantive. And I don't know that I can completely divorce the power part out of it. Because if Kanye went off, but hadn't actually lost his Adidas contract and hadn't actually gotten banked, what would the difference actually have been? It seems to me like those are the things that actually got him to sit back in his seat, right? Because he said, remember, he was mouthing off at one of these interviews and he said, at the end of the day, Adidas can't get rid of me. I'm too powerful. I'm too big. He thought he was above it all. And then the next day, Adidas said, actually, no, sir. We've reached our limit. Right.
No, that's real. I think you're right, but I don't necessarily think that that's vastly different from what I'm saying. I think you're right. I think one has been marked with a greater stigma. One has been constructed as fundamentally worse. But I think that is both a reflection of the efforts of the Jewish community, quite appropriately, I think, to add stigma to Holocaust denial, to make it an untouchable practice and topic, right? I think that's done right. I think the reason that slavery denial or anti-blackness or misogyny is not such a topic is not just because black people don't care enough. I think that it's hard within a white supremacist context and within this world to first normalize that narrative, because a lot of us engage in anti-black shit, But two, to your point about power, we don't have the institutional power to impose our those values in the same way.
And that's not to say, by the way, that the people.
So now, of course, if you guys want to watch the full interview, it's like what, an hour, 15 minutes long. Of course, I'm not gonna play that whole entire thing. Go ahead and check out the video on her channel, Bad Faith. I subscribe. It's really good content. But to kind of add along with the point, if I was there, during the interview, I it's some things that I feel that we do have, because Lamont is right. We don't have that like overall American presence to change how people perceive black people now. And when it comes to our history, which is slavery, and see it as impactful and detrimental to our people. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the Holocaust and everything that happened, we understand the gravity of that. Just like the N-word, in a sense. Like, that's a line you don't want to cross. If you cross that line, you better make your bed on that side, because it's hard coming back from that. But when it comes to Kanye West saying slavery was a choice, and rocking a Confederate flag, and to me, it carries a heavier weight than that. And some things that I kind of noted on my notes here, some of the things that I feel that if we can kind of change as a black community, that'd be awesome. We could start there. And then if we start there, then we can have other people take it as serious, because I can't remember the last time I heard or seen someone who's Jewish on any level deny the Holocaust. Like it's hard for me. I'm pretty sure there's someone in history, but you don't see it as many as black people denying slavery was really such a bad thing, or denying, like Candace Owens, that the Confederate flag is like just another flag that anybody should be rocking, because it's not such a bad thing. Slavery was like a few hundred people for a couple of hundred, a couple dozen years. Like, that's how like they make it. So one of the points I think we should all do as a community is understand slavery and the impact that it actually had. And that and that takes educating, that takes reading, that takes relying on credible sources when it comes to understanding the gravity of slavery. And I've read 2 books so far, kind of explaining the impact, the economic side of it, the capitalism side of it, and it's crazy. So much information that is not just taught in schools. You know what I'm saying? Because it was more than just, a few slave owners owned a dozen slaves, and they made a couple of dollars, and the Civil War happened, and it was over. It was way more than that. So I think understanding the impact of it would make a difference. And then holding our own accountable. Candace Owens, Kanye West, a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters out there, if they want to challenge slavery and its effects on us today, we need to challenge them. There's no, okay, that's just his opinion, and okay, he could, no, we challenging it. And if he doesn't or she doesn't understand or reconcile with the words that she is saying is being is downplaying our history, cut them off. And when I said cut them off, hey, you ain't black no more. Like, we need to pull that card. You ain't black no more. Like, instead of saying, oh, you talk too proper, or oh, you dress too white. Like, no, that's childish. That's high school stuff. If you're denying the weight and the impact that slavery had, you're not black no more. We're not claiming you no more. Black folks are not going to support you, or the large amount of black people are not going to support you or anything that you're doing. I guarantee you Candace wouldn't, she have a all white fan with the 4 or 5 black people that support her. Honestly, Kanye West, we made him famous. Black folks made him famous. If we cut him off, he ain't gonna be where he's at no more. His shoes, no. His music, hell no. It ain't gonna rock like that no more. If we cut him off, we're cutting him off, and I guarantee, hands down, he's not going to be where he's even at right now. That's simple. When it comes to anyone, I'm talking about activists, leaders of any shape, level, icons, celebrities, anybody. If you deny the impact or the gravity of slavery, we are not going to support you. Don't matter what color you are. You could be white, you could be Mexican, you could be Asian. If you think it's a joke, we're going to cut you off. We're not going to support you. Denzel, you came out with a new movie, but you think slavery was just like, it wasn't too bad. We ain't seeing your movies. It needs to be that impactful, and we need to move as a unit. There's not going to be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So if we could all move like that, that could make some change. Also, with the N-word, a lot of conversation. Well, black people use, they say the N-word with the A at the end. So I can, no, I hate that conversation because it muddies up the N-word with a hard R. Because then you have bad faith actors saying, well, black people say the N-word with the A, so we shouldn't be offended if white people use the N-word with the hard R. To avoid that kind of conversation, don't use the word at all. We all need to come to an agreement not to use the word at all if we don't want anyone to even hint at saying the N-word with the A or R. There's no wiggle room. There's no long debates and trying to, no, we're going to stop using it. If anyone says that N-word with a hard R, that's your ass. There's no coming back. We need to be that gangster with it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no gray areas. There's no wiggle room. There's none of that. We're going to cut you off. We're not going to support you. Black people, we make up the media. When LeBron James speaks, people listen. When Barack Obama speaks, people listen. We dominate the media, music, sports. That's pretty much America right there. And even in the political ring, we got that. So if we decide not to move a certain way, that's going to affect people's money. That's simple. And when it comes and to end here with the media, we need to hold them accountable. No more Fox News just reporting on black crimes all the time. None of that. CNN only showing the peaceful protests. No, show everything if you're gonna show it, and then put context behind it, because the context is what matters. Or don't show nothing at all. And if you represent us in a negative way that is not correct for us, we're going to shut you down. Because black people, we have that power. I believe we do. We shown it. The Black Panther Party of Self-Defense, we shown it. MLK, we shown it. Malcolm X, hey, say no less. We have that kind of power. We just need to get over ourselves. Get over our self-serving type of attitude, which was kind of taught to us. And that's why every black person I run into is only concerned about themselves. They don't care about nobody else. We need to change. I'm going to change that. Give me a couple more years. I'm going to change that. And if you don't get with it, you gonna get ran over. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's simple. All right, let's go to the next video.